call it in the draft phase. Just like old times, Atlas.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it with some trepidation. Let's see exactly what is going to happen. I personally just hope that Griffin has a little bit more help when it comes to the later stages of the game, and Antara shows us that he has evolved from what was definitely an all-in-one trick when we saw him on SKT in 2018. Well, it's been a long time since he's been with us. Gorilla as well, another returning favorite. And he had some good moments. He had some iffy moments as well, flashing and getting his teammates snared up in the team fight that they managed to lose towards the top side of the map. However, redeemed himself nicely with the victory in the end. Yeah.
Well, so far here, Akali Misfortune banned away by Griffin SANDBOX, responding with LeBlanc Aurelia and Varus.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time we've had a Game 2 in any iteration of the KeSPA Cup without a sub. Especially from a debuting team.
Perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going out on a limb.
All right, well, Sandra is picked.
Yeah.
So, Syndra going to be locked in here as a first pick. Now, Syndra is able to be flexed all 5 roles, but it's in Korea, so probably only going to be mid and AD. Griffin now responding with Senna.
Yeah, the Senna's going to come in the Tahm Kench like I was talking about. I was actually about to say it's probably going to be the Tahm Kench. That's why you may have heard me make a little bit of a sad noise, because I just want to make sure that my analyst stays with me. He is still here. He's just gone a little bit speechless after this. But that is also going to be the Aatrox locked away here for Summit, and Gorilla has got his hands on the Nautilus once again. Still some question marks around where the Naut and Syndra are going to be going, but it is likely that the Aatrox is going to head towards the top side. Theoretically still flexible. As Neon, another flexible champion, is going to be locked in here for either Antara or himself.
I mean, right now, SANDBOX showed that their team composition has to be aggressive because they have the Nautilus, they have the Aatrox, they have 2 champions that want to go in. Syndra thematically can be on page with that, trying to go aggressive, trying to get things done and accomplish it, but it would mean that it could potentially come at the cost of scaling in the later stages of the game, but there's still enough flexibility to try to do something, given that Griffin had blinded the Tahm and they had the Senna already. Griffin now, though, responding with Rumble, showing that they'll go tit for tat, and now they're banning the Olaf now.
So Olaf against OnFleek. He was, of course, our premier Olaf player in 2019. So you can understand that. But in fact, Tarzan was as well. We have our sort of 2 most successful Olafs outside of Bono here in this game. Qiyana going to be respected, as Qiyana Rumble is actually a brilliant combo. The Supreme Display of Talent Equalizer is pretty scary amounts of damage.
The thing here is that with the Syndra and the Aatrox as well as the Nautilus, right? They have a lot of pick, a lot of hard engage and whatnot. The Olaf is really surprising because you have Tahm Kench, you have Rumble, you have the ability to counter pick and flex as you deem fit as Griffin. We've seen that Tarzan and solo queues played some Kindred.
Yeah.
Kindred answers Aatrox really, really, really well. Also one of the best AD junglers that does exist in the game, whether or not we'll see her as maybe the rest of KeSPA Cup draws on, but
I'd actually really like Kindred here because it works well with a more supportive AD carry in Viper's choice. I was so scared that it was going to be a Lee Sin pick after the Olaf ban, because Lee Sin does quite well into the Olaf, but seeing the Rek'Sai, of course Rek'Sai has performed extremely well into the Lee Sin. OnFleek going back to an old favorite here if he does decide to lock away the Xin Zhao, but you can see pretty thin as far as the jungle pool.
Well,
is it going to be Xin?
3 seconds.
It is.
It is.
All right.
So OnFleek had his claim to fame in the summer of Camille Xin Zhao.
Yes, he definitely did.
That was his run. He gained, I think, about 600 LP in 1.5 months. Very, very good.
He's still, he's like in the top 10.
He's really high right now,
he's in the top 10
but
at the moment,
his
so
initial climb that got him noticed, and actually, I believe had him be put on the radar by everyone, was with Camille and Xin Zhao. on his initial climb up, and now Dove is actually going to lock in the Zoe, and that will mean that it is actually Syndra going to be going bot lane most likely, and this just gives counter picks all around, so it's so puzzling and bizarre. And, you know, a lot of people, they're probably wondering, like, why is League Supreme just mauling over the draft right now? Why is he always complaining about things that are going on?
I'm sorry, it's League Supreme 2019.
Exactly, I was testing you.
Okay,
but
good.
The champions are trying to achieve different things, and the players are looking at it in a vacuum of isolated one-on-ones and 2v2s rather than how they come together. And you also can't view team compositions by looking at one champion as if it's a microcosm of what is going to go on or what the defining characteristics of the team comp will be, because there's so much more happening. And so, as this game unfolds now, interestingly enough, Griffin, they opened the draft really weak with the Senna Tahm Kench responding with Rumble, and then they ended up making out later because of the follow-up draft from SANDBOX. So everything's sort of all over the place.
It is very strange. However, I do like that Untara has moved towards a more aggressive choice. He did play this when he was on SKT, but now able to pick up the Fiora into the Aatrox, a pretty favorable matchup for her, especially as the game goes later and later. The best thing about it, in my eyes, is the fact that we're adding extra facets and win conditions to Griffin's bow. So let's see what they can do as we get into game number 2. All right.
Well, Griffin got some cheers that time.
Yep, the 4 Griffin fans in the back turned up, apparently. I guess they were out.
I'm gonna let you slide on that one. I'm gonna let you slide. I counted 3.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. You know me. My cup's half full.
Yeah.
You know, I like to round up. Don't like odd numbers.
Okay.
I'm not about that. So it's a 6v6.
How do you feel about this Zoe skin?
Well, it's doing some craziness right now.
It looks like that Pokemon. Shiinotic, right?
Shiinotic?
Is that one of the new ones? Maybe that's why you don't know it.
Maybe. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Sword and Shield.
Whatever.
Shiinotic. Is
go
that
away.
even a Pokemon?
I don't even know now. Now you're making me insecure.
I'm a bit perplexed. What does it do? You know it's typing or something like that?
I think yeah, here it is.
Oh, yeah.
The ghost mushroom.
No, you're right. Shiinotic. I've never used it before. That was in
the way that she
was
lights
the gen
up,
prior to this,
reminds me of Balloon Lay or whatever that new city is, you know?
Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah, she's definitely a fairy gym leader.
Yep. And there are a few of them in
we have
the new game.
Dr. Robotnik going up against her here in mid lane.
Or Eggman. We got quite confused because we found out that he had 2 names, but it's one in the English version and one in the Japanese, and I think even sometimes they move between the 2, so all a bit perplexing. What's your favorite? Robotnik's probably cooler. What do you reckon?
Ooh, yeah, I like that one.
I
Who's
really
your favorite
do like
Sonic
Eggman.
character?
Knuckles. I'm a Knuckles fan.
I am too, actually.
Oh, look at us go!
My God. I was a huge Knuckles fanboy.
Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles was probably one of my favorites. Although Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was my favorite Sonic game.
Yeah.
And Knuckles' levels in that game were terrible, to be honest.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but still my favorite character. And he's still very sassy, you know, as the dredge line's going to come down. Speaking of sassy, a lot of damage here onto Cabby. Not going to invest the Ignite or anything like that. Gorilla holding onto the trigger. Cabby's hopefully just going to be able to regen a lot of this health back. We've got Viper actually with a change of pace. Moved over towards the Dark Harvest instead of the Glacial Augment that he picked up in game number 1. He's wanting to have a little bit more bang for his buck as far as this auto damage is concerned as this game goes on. This dredge line is just going to be placed in front of the Catfish, but this particular Master Chef is going to have none of it.
So the interesting thing right here is you can see the speed at which they're trying to push this into the turret. This is wave 3. What's arriving right now is wave 4. And now if they push this too slow, they can't get off a recall, whereas you can see how Cabby and Viper are playing right now. And they have no interest to trade. They're never going to fight. There's no chip damage that's going to happen onto the turret. Nothing is occurring. Leo and Gorilla could have shoved this a lot faster, and had they done that, they would have been able to cheat a recall off, come back to the wave on wave 4 or 5, depending on when they did it, had better items, and then been able to circumvent one of the teleports.
Yep, hold on to that teleport as well and possibly make a play as the mid-game moves forward. Infernal Chain's not going to land there on Antara as Summit. We were talking about this before, the fact that it's a decent matchup for the Fiora, especially as the game goes on. However, Summit's just really good at Aatrox. So it could be that there is just a different outcome, but we'll have to wait and see as this game progresses before that happens. We were talking about the cheater recalls. It doesn't happen, but there's still going to be a CS advantage here for Leo, who's just been shoving relentlessly.
Well, nothing's being achieved, Atlas. Break it down for me. All right, we're going to have a trade right
Dredge
here.
line comes in. That's I'm breaking that down first.
Okay.
Viper gets stunned up by the Scat of the Week.
What really just happened over the course of the last 6 waves?
Just a ping pong.
Okay.
Are we playing a different game here?
All right.
Is that, did I get it right?
Well, this is sort of the issue right now is why is it like this?
Mm-hmm.
In regards to, it really does seem like we're entering LoL states even earlier than usual.
Feels
Especially, yeah.
We're playing Griffin early games, and it seems to be working for SANDBOX, which is the unfortunate thing, as Antara finally presses that riposte button as OnFleek turns up towards the top side, but this wave a little bit too far forward for him to actually get any work done. Hail of Blades on this Xin Zhao makes him extraordinarily terrifying in this early game.
Summit with some really good wave manipulation, though. He has the wave coming into him. He had his jungler in close proximity, and I swear if they pan top lane and he just queued the wave and crashed it, I'm going to feel real bad.
Well, he couldn't crash it because there's a teleport from Antara onto the mid.
But he was trying to crash it. And this is
he
where
definitely
we already lost
was.
out.
And in fact, the wave has, I believe, been pulled by Antara, and he's going to hold it underneath his minion wave to make sure that no ganks are going to come towards this Fiora.
Atlas!
Yeah, man. He's got to get back to shoving that wave under the turret because it wasn't able to push back towards him. Right?
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go with that one. I like it. We'll use your line here.
Yeah.
SANDBOX, they're going to clear out wards. We're just getting ping pong right now. That is absolutely all that's happening.
I feel like you got something against ping pong. Are you not a table tennis fan?
Personally, I'm not. I know that it's very big here in Korea, but
We do like a bit of ping pong. It's Cabby gonna lick Gorilla. Nothing's gonna come of it though, as Tarzan moves on over. They've got control vision of this Cloud Drake, and he should be able to take it by himself if he would like to. More snowballs being thrown around here by Leo, who's dressed very appropriately for the Korean winter.
well, lots and lots of ping pong. That is all that we're getting right now.
Oh, the dragon died. So there we go. There's some excitement. Are you not entertained?
I'm not entertained.
We didn't even watch it, which is the weird part. It's the most fun thing that's happened so far this game, as Summit's zoning Antara away from these creeps as best as he can.
No, this is a really good freeze right now, though, that Summit is threatening. Finally! A laner is doing something here that interacts with his opponent and forces a response. It's
Look,
really...
for the first time, I've noticed that you don't just stand there and auto the minions. That's crazy.
See how we get
just
some
queued
action?
The wave, though. That's a bit sad.
When we use the minions as a third party.
Devour available. Cabby holds onto it, but that's a great dredge line to deny it. Gorilla with his wits about him, but Dove comes down, doesn't get here in time. And they escape underneath the turret. Both summoner spells from Cabby are now on cooldown. However, Viper holds on to his flash. Could be important as this game goes on. 20 CS the lead here for Leo, though, who's really debuting nicely for SANDBOX. I believe we saw Leo a couple of times on SKT throughout the years. Not in 2019, of course, because it was Teddy 100% of the time. But Leo was with the team for quite some time.
Yeah.
Been a while since
Proto Belt.
since we saw him. Yeah, Dove picking up the fun one. It's not quite Redemption, but it's pretty good. As far as if this was an even skill match between these two top laners, LS, when would you say that this turns in favor of the Fiora? Does it take a lot longer than the 8 minutes that we've already had? You have about a estimated time of overtake?
Well, Fiora, it depends on the skill levels of the players. Aatrox, there was well, hold on.
Yeah, OnFleek's gonna find Tarzan. This is the Hail of Blades though, guys. It's dangerous. But OnFleek making use of that new brush that I believe had a control ward in it anyway, so not gonna be able to capitalize as there's a trouble bubble, but Cabby's just going to say nom nom to Captain Robotnik. As that equalizer is golden. Not quite enough to do anything, but it looked good. First blood going over to SANDBOX. They are going to be able to walk away with a dead catfish, but Cabby tried so dang hard to save all of his teammates, just couldn't quite save himself.
And things are just going from bad to worse right now for Griffin.
Yeah, they had a decent start to this game, but it's just not quite enough as the Grand Challenge has been issued towards Summit. Does get the extra healing back as OnFleek's going to dive on in. And guys, once again, we have some Hail of Blades, but over the wall goes Tarzan. Extra damage in, a few auto attacks are going to be there, but Antara straight up baited and Dove in exactly the right spot. SANDBOX have come to play this KeSPA Cup.
And SANDBOX now, they're so far ahead in this game. Now, some people are probably wondering, well, LS, last time it was a 2,000 gold lead, you said they weren't that far ahead, or Griffin wasn't. The dynamics are entirely different right now because of the champions. It's very hard for Griffin to stabilize if they fall too far behind. Now, with the Rift Herald going the way of SANDBOX right now, they're going to be able to convert this into some turret plates. They're likely to get Infernal. We take a look at the replay here. You have to wonder what Antara is trying to do with this trade, because he has to know that OnFleek must be in close proximity. Now, Tarzan comes over, Shelly still nearby. So OnFleek able to smite for some HP, and Gorilla was here as well. Flash for flash, not gonna be enough. And it's almost a 3,000 gold lead at 10 minutes here.
Yeah, just gigantic. It's ballooned out of control. I swear last time I looked at that gold number, it was under 1,000 gold. Now, very, very different as Summit able to sidestep the riposte. And while that riposte is on cooldown, it means that Summit can basically just have his way with this minion wave, and there's not a lot that Antara can actually do about it.
Yeah, and things just
look at that. Now, weak point right in front of him,
Summit
and he's still too scared.
That minion. I'm mad.
Oh dear. Well, he denied it anyway, so Antara didn't pick that one up. Whether that was Antara's fault or Summit's fault, I'm not going to go into. However, it was a thing that just happened. Shelly is going to take a lot of damage there from the turret bash, but a lot of plates now belong to SANDBOX. Walked into their kitchen, opened the cupboard, and just took them.
What about cookies?
I don't know.
I had cookies and milk last week.
Did you?
Yeah,
did
it was
you play
a long
some
time
Morgana?
coming. What?
Simple Succulents Morgana, the
no,
cookie skin?
No,
not a fan?
No, that's not, no, listen. And you know, Korean cookie brands are actually really, they're very hit or miss. So I bought like 10 different brands and I tried them all out.
Did you do like a mukbang, like YouTube thing?
No, my viewers would hate me.
Really?
Yeah. They make fun of me as is.
I mean, but that's going to happen no matter what kind of video you make, right?
That's all right.
Got to accept it.
At least here I have you to make fun of me.
Hey, yeah, that's true.
You know?
I mean, I mix it up, you know?
Yeah.
Summit, he's just going to dash over the wall. No use worrying about that one. SANDBOX gets their hands on the Infernal Drake and now unlock the Ocean Rift. Look at the beautiful flowers. Talking about this yesterday, I think it's the prettiest Rift option. I think the least impactful visually is definitely Cloud Rift. Bothers me that it's just like a weird swirly circle on the ground, making me feel like Skarner's permanently in the game, although it is originating from the buffs.
I personally really like the map.
Yeah?
I like all of the graphic map updates.
The new changes, big fan?
Yeah. I wish they would add more dragons, though. You know what I would really like? Well, I'll tell you after this.
Well, we'd like to see whether Summit can get out here, and he is able to, actually taxiing onto a Tarzan kick. A bit of a disaster there as Summit turns it around. Now the boop under the turret, and Tarzan has nowhere to go. Summit is pretty damn good at Aatrox, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, well, if that wasn't the demoralizing 2v2 loss, I don't know really what is, but it does look like Griffin, in their KeSPA Cup debut, is looking like they're going to get 2-0'd here. This game probably going to go much faster. Now, the other obnoxious thing about this is if SANDBOX get all the Ocean Dragons, there's no way Griffin's going to win a sustained fight, which is exactly what Griffin's team composition has to do.
And exactly what its advantage is over SANDBOX, who don't have a traditional AD carry.
So, this is definitely unfortunate. Let's see how this starts. Untara goes on to Summit, misses the riposte, and then Tarzan, likewise, not the cleanest kick. Summit didn't even have to flash, and then Summit tells them to straighten up real quick.
Yeah.
As Leo came in, helped him out there.
Scattered the weak, and unfortunately, I know the nameplate says Tarzan, but that was not a strong play towards the top side, as that Q looked like it hit. But it didn't. This feels like the state of this game at this point in time, and Griffin need to slow down and tidy things up, because this is looking really messy. I don't know. Griffin, of course, this isn't going to worry them too much moving towards the LCK season. Still plenty of time to sort things out, but this is not a great first look. SANDBOX, on the other hand, are looking brilliant. Especially impressed by what Leo's been able to offer down there towards the bottom side. And I spoke about this, I think, a little bit earlier on in the day, but moving Gorilla into the support role when SANDBOX was so used to having Joker just feels like the same SANDBOX but upgraded, right?
Yeah.
Because Gorilla always has been a very cerebral player, very smart player. And Joker, he was that for the team. He was sort of that level-headed voice, the man who already completed his military service. Certainly one of the oldest players in the league, if not the oldest. As Neon going to get portal jumped on, but does have the barrier available and is going to utilize it, as now Summit. World Ender comes in, and he's now able to probably spam some emotes if he wants to. Dodges the Q very easily. And it's not a lot that you see the Prestige Aatrox just demonstrate exactly how he prestiged it. It's looking pretty prestigious up there towards the top side. Summit.
Well, it looks like Tim's actually, I'm sorry, about to come in and maybe get involved here with an Abyssal Voyage. But remember, the Tahm Kench ultimate has been nerfed. The range, he's probably barely touching Aatrox right now. Actually, I don't even think quite, but...
I think if he was, he probably wouldn't have wanted to press the button anyway. Because Summit is pretty scary at this moment in time, as Summit was spinning around when he'd portal jumped in.
Why does Nahyun have Morello first item? Don't even give me some spiel about the Aatrox, nor tell me that he's preparing for the Ocean Soul. It's not how you build Atlas.
No. I mean, I actually just didn't have anything for you. I'm sorry. I looked down the line at the champions that Nahyun's probably going to be capitalizing on, and yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what you want from me. He built a book because he wanted to learn more.
Okay. So he likes reading. You know, the last full book that I actually read. You ready for this? You're gonna hate
what was
me.
it?
You're gonna. I am actually sabotaging my own.
Okay.
My own clout right now. It was Twilight Breaking Dawn.
Really? Wow, that came out a long time ago.
Yeah, that was the last full book that I read, like every page.
Whoa.
Sometimes I'll read some books and I'll get through some and then I'll be like, skip through.
What did you think of Breaking Dawn? Were you a fan?
I actually thought all the Twilight books were really good, but obviously the movie adaptions were.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was actually really upset because I quite enjoyed Twilight as well. The books while I was reading it, quite a few years ago now.
I never.
And then all of the memes started, and the movies came out, and I'm like, oh, was I not supposed to like this? You know, is it not cool to like this? It's quite upsetting. Quite enjoyed the story.
It was very hip at the time not to like it. That was the meta.
Yeah. And I mean, some of the themes certainly weren't exactly healthy as far as teaching people how a relationship's supposed to work. But if you look past that and you think about it as like a fantasy storyline with a romantic twist, it's kind of cool.
I see 2 Oblivion Orbs right now, and I'll be honest, Atlas, I'm getting a little afraid.
Yeah?
I really am. I'm gonna need you to hold my hand.
Yep. So
that's my leg.
We're getting towards the excuses to come out. Well, sorry, I think I left my my dog eating my homework. I'm gonna have to go. Let's just hope that those Oblivion Orbs are just gonna stay there. Look at these mirrored builds for Leo and Dove.
I'm gonna need that stopwatch that Syndra has.
Yeah.
To catch my drift. 4.5 minutes until the next Ocean Soul, or the Ocean Dragon, ends up coming up.
Yep. And we don't need to talk about this game anymore, so I'm going to go back to the book topic just for 1 second.
Let's do that
because my favorite TV series of all time recently got a new TV series.
Which is?
Sorry, book series. Now TV series, which is Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials. Do you remember that terrible movie that came out called The Golden Compass with Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman? It was awful. The movie was
Are you saying
awful.
that I'm old?
No.
How old is this?
It's not that old. Not super old. But it was bad, so not a lot of people
Go ahead.
watched it.
Say 19...
No. It was in the 2000s, early, mid 2000s, I think. Something like that.
Atlas, I don't even know if I was a teenager.
Yeah, you were. You would have been a teenager.
All right.
I'll have to. I'll look it up, and we can go into it afterwards.
Yeah, we'll do that after. Okay.
But anyway,
continue.
James McAvoy stars in the new sort of BBC TV series of His Dark Materials, and I really enjoy it. It's really, really good. Great books as well. So you know, if you're thinking about picking up a book in this new decade that we're about to enter into, maybe this could be your choice. I would highly recommend it. And now we can go back to the game. As you can see, SANDBOX have got full control, and they're just preparing around this Baron buff area.
I was actually planning to write a book soon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Whoa.
The audacity to tilt.
All right.
It's already a bestseller.
Wow. Are you going to leak the script?
That is part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think otherwise your brand is going to be completely out the window.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's going to be exciting. I'll probably, I'll at least buy a copy. Don't know whether I'll read it.
You don't buy the copies, you sub for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the new
So
adaptation.
you get a copy of the book with your Twitch Prime? Is that how it works?
Or channel points.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Coming up with things on the fly, actually.
Yeah, and is it only going to be in PDF format?
Are
you not actually going to get it published?
Actually, you just copy-paste it into Twitch chat.
Yeah, or it's just a Twitter post. It's in fact a Twitter poll. That's how you write it. Is you do a poll for like which the next word is going to be, like that improv game.
Yeah.
So you're not going to write it at all.
No.
Your Twitter following is going to write you a book.
Correct.
All right, guys, get ready for that one. Make sure you get your memes out so that you understand exactly what the right choice is going to be as far as the next words in the book is concerned. It's going to take you a while.
It certainly will, but I feel like maybe I can throw up some games in the background and the LoL states will get me through.
All right, good. Well, hopefully some LCK is going to get
Why
you
do
through
they both
in
have
2020 as
Morello?
well. Because we need as many Morellos as possible. Very important. Very important. I mean, it's so Cavi can't eat through his grey health quickly enough. Look at how quickly his grey health came back. Oh, and you saw just there exactly why Neon built a Morellonomicon?
I'm sure it's because
of the RNG pickups that Dove can make of the heal summoner spell.
Correct.
Yeah, and Redemption. The bane of everyone's existence. Summit is going to fail to predict when the lunge was happening, as Antara does make his way out, gets the stun there with a very easy riposte, but he's still going to be pressured away from this turret. SANDBOX continue to just suffocate Griffin out of this game. It really feels like, I know we started talking about books and things like that, but at that particular stage, when that huge fight was just outplayed and won on the top side of the map, as speaking of outplays, Dove goes golden, uses the timepiece, and now is looking to try and take down Tarzan. Decent flash, gets him out of the way, but in the meantime, Neon also in trouble. And there's the flash over. Dove grabs him. No more sparkles required, as he's able to obliterate the Lee Sin, who's had probably the worst time in the jungle that we've seen from Tarzan in a really long time, to be honest. And now this inner turret should be going down.
I mean, this Tarzan's looking like a Wukong, if you catch my drift here.
Didn't you recently just thank our Wukong mains? What's wrong with Wukong?
There's about 5 of them.
And I'm pretty sure you're friends with our old mate Sky Williams as well, and he's a bit of a fan of that Wukong. Seem to remember.
If he knows what's good for him, he won't pick it again.
Oh, that's a shame.
So
no wonder he's been slacking on the League of Legends content of late.
don't go through.
Okay. Okay. There you go. I'll step away.
Right.
Well, Viper's doing his best to try and at least still get some counter pressure in this game. It took them a long time to be able to get any wards towards this top side. As we have a look at this Dove outplay, I think just straight up popped the ultimate as well.
Yeah, it was a really good Zanya's, and I mean, gets the bubble onto Tarzan. Tarzan tries to flash away, but just doesn't matter in the very end. I was actually going to start going with the lyrics, but, you know, it just...
That would have been the other way around. Shout out to Chester Bennington. As Leo going to take away some chickens. The Baron is still here.
At 24 minutes. And now SANDBOX has 2 ways to end the game. 4 minutes, the
they
Ocean
have
Dragon.
one way. Oh, actually 2, yeah. Griffin could surrender or they could kill the Nexus, right?
That is true.
So 2 ways. Both ways the Nexus dies. So theoretically the Nexus dies.
But
the only way.
Ocean Soul and Baron are both just such pressuring things right now for Griffin. They could maybe hope to steal 1, but the issue is that if SANDBOX elects to just wait for the Ocean Soul, it's near impossible for Griffin to approach it, whereas if SANDBOX is doing Baron, Griffin has an easier time approaching from their red side jungle.
And not only that, but there's also the fact that SANDBOX have the ability to force Griffin into a lose-lose scenario, because if the fight is around the dragon area, Griffin have nothing to gain. One single Ocean Drake is going to do next to nothing for Griffin, especially with all the Morellonomicons on the side of SANDBOX. However, SANDBOX, they get themselves the Ocean Soul if they pick that one up. SANDBOX can also move towards the Baron as well, so they can threaten both sides of the map, when realistically, if Griffin get the Baron, that's the only way that SANDBOX feel a little bit upset, and even then, they're probably going to be okay with it, as the slideshow is going to commence. Not sure whether that is our swanky new monitors, or whether you guys saw that at home, but it was certainly a little bit of fun to lower that frame rate just a little bit.
Seems like everyone's actually just content, though, to let the game continue to unfold the way that it is. And in terms of items that are coming up, it looks like Aatrox actually going to be building the Guardian Angel, and personally, I do really like that. Even if you do manage to kill him once through the healing on his Death Stance and Aatrox in general, plus the Ocean Soul, probably won't kill him twice in one fight. So...
Especially
Baron?
not with, like you say, the Death Stance available. Baron just going to be started as Gorilla is going to act as the warden of this particular area of the map. Vision available, and no one's even going to check that control ward just yet. Tarzan takes a Paddle Star as there's an Equalizer in the pit. Huge range on that one, but not going to be enough, not going to deter SANDBOX as Gorilla with his Gargoyle Stoneplate is going to make sure no one from Griffin can even make it through. Vision, I believe, was available there, but Tarzan unable to land the Q, and Tara's bottom side of the map trying to at least make this split push work, and theoretically, as this game crests about the 30-minute mark, that is going to be one of the win conditions that Griffin can rely on, but with a game state like this, I highly doubt it's going to be anything of the like.
The thing right now is that Griffin are so far behind in terms of everything. They're down in dragons, they're down in levels across the board, they're down in gold. Everything's not really looking out. SANDBOX right now, they have Baron, which means that they're going to be able to raise this bot tier 2 turret. Definitely going to get an inhibitor on this push, and then to boot, they're going to get Ocean Soul at the very end of this, and that's if Griffin survives. And once they have Ocean Soul, there's really no chance Griffin can win a fight, because their entire team composition doesn't have straight up burst damage. It's all sustained.
Not to mention there is absolutely no ranged wave clear outside of Viper's Piercing Darkness, and even then it's not going to do too much against these Baroned up minions, and you can see SANDBOX capitalizing on it. They're going to take down this inhibitor turret in the mid lane, and in the meantime, like they prepared earlier, the cooking show that is late game League of Legends with the 10,000 gold lead. Summit is shoving towards the bottom side of the map to open in another position. And Tara, all he can do really is try and create pressure elsewhere, because he's going to do nothing in this siege scenario. He is going to be able to take a turret against the flow of play, but he will need to come back. Unless SANDBOX can't dive, and he will be able to just threaten an inhibitor himself. But 1 for 2. I sort of know how that trade goes, and he's still going to be playing it pretty close to his chest as SANDBOX move back towards Fog of War.
Yeah. going to back up. They're going to get the Ocean Soul, and then they'll probably reset one more time just for maybe elixirs and then whatever extra items that they would want.
Yeah.
And then from there, they can actually attack move through Griffin, fall asleep at the computer.
Yep.
It'd still probably win the fight.
Yeah, it's like they're playing mass carrier late game. Star 1 game.
All right, well.
It's not like you can micro them interceptors. Am I right?
You can.
You can? What? No,
Yeah.
you can't. Individual interceptors?
There's actually tricks with the carrier to make them have longer range.
Damn, that game is too hard, man.
Yeah,
it's just
all right,
too complicated.
Let's stick to
I
late.
only ever attack move my carriers, okay? As Antara may have found himself a Dove, but OnFleek's going to dive on forward. He's got the ultimate running, and Dove is going to stay alive. In fact, turns the aggression around as Leo just searching for Tarzan. He's been zoned out, though, and now Antara. 1 versus 3, that is not good odds, especially not against this SANDBOX squad with so much money. Teleport immediately utilized. Leo not going too far, but he will be able to help take down this Nexus. It's only Cabby and Antara that have been taken off the board, but I think that's going to be enough for SANDBOX just to ram down this mid lane and take these Nexus turrets, followed by the Nexus at 29 and